Now, you may remember during the COVID pandemic, it saw the closure of the Riverside restaurant in Woodbridge, and a pop-up popped up called the A-Listed. It appeared in its place, but now the Riverside will be returning. It's not often you see a restaurant go away and then come back. So what's happened? Stuart Saunders is the owner, and he joins me in the studio now to tell us more. Stuart, good morning.
Very good morning to you, Wayne.
The return of the Riverside, which is great news. First, why did it go away in the first place?
Well, we all forget, don't we, a thing called COVID. So the Riverside restaurant was never really a restaurant that could cope with COVID. I was always the host, greeting and kissing people and, and all that jazz. And suddenly COVID comes along. You can only eat outside. And that's in a marquee with its sides down, where they measure the sides to check, even though obviously the sides are down as requested, but they measure there's enough aeration. You're talking about distancing people, masks, curfews, that I can't do under the Riverside brand. So I quickly co-founded a pop-up with somebody and said, you get on with that. I'll take a back seat for a while. So, and it went incredibly well. And it really has been the answer to that problem, which was COVID. I wasn't interested in performing during that time. Not really.
So the pop-up, did that perform well?
It did incredibly well. If you remember, everyone was screaming to go out. They hadn't spent any money for a while. The other thing that the pop-up did so well, and the people running it did incredibly well, was that we obviously had to attract a different market, because older people, dare I say maybe over 40s, weren't interested in going out because they hadn't quite had the jab, or they didn't quite know where they were, and everyone was still scared. And of course, at this point, we didn't even have the cinema open, so it kept the place alive. It did its job well, no doubt about it.
So is there any kind of bitterness? Is it quite amicable that they've handed it back to you and the Riverside will return to its former glory pre-pandemic?
Well, I certainly never do bitterness, and I obviously needed it to get back at some point, and I suppose there was never ever agreement in place, so to speak, as and when. So it was a little bit more sudden than expected, but so after a conversation on Sunday night, Monday morning, I was still open. So yes, all this nonsense about it was shut. Well, no, that particular pop-up was shut, and the Riverside obviously opened its hospitality again, and here we are still open. But the former Riverside of all the glory and everything, that's going to be baby steps. This is going to take just a little while to get right back to the sort of, we used to be written about in Financial Times and the Telegraph, to get to that level and be back in the Michelin Guide and all that kind of stuff will take probably a good year, and I've got some exciting people coming on board who will be leading that. So when you get as old as I am, you have many contacts.
Stuart, you look great. Come on.
So and even in that pop-up, actually, I had to call my brother in, who was living with me at the time, because he'd just come back from Spain. He coincidentally is in the restaurant business too, and he ended up going to that pop-up and being the chef there, and it was just nuts. And he's no youngster. I helped out in the kitchen too with a couple of others. It was basically like the Rolling Stones in the kitchen. We were just trying to keep the place alive. So it's been a lot of fun, really, and now it's going to be a bright future, so I can't wait. And
that is good news, because yesterday, as I mentioned when you came in, I saw this report in some of the local press, some of the local print press, and it said closed with immediate effect, and immediately think, oh no, we can't lose the restaurant outside the cinema in Woodbridge. We just can't. But now, chatting to you and finding out what exactly happened, you've got your baby back, haven't you?
I've got my baby back, yeah. And don't forget, I used to work there when I was 19 for the previous owner, Mr. Betts, who saved the cinema initially. So that place is literally a man and boy there, yeah.
You're quite well thought of in Woodbridge, where your business is based. One person on Facebook saying that you should become the mayor of Woodbridge. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's very flattering. Some people say I am as well. But
you're the unofficial mayor of Woodbridge.
I really think, and somebody did once say to me that I'm the real mayor. That was the other thing I had, but that's all very flattering and lovely. And I suppose the real answer to that is mayors tend to be involved in politics, and I'm certainly not involved in politics. I'm involved in hospitality and in entertainment.
And it is an incredible risk to bring it back. It's a very popular brand, Stuart, but we are in the middle of this cost of living crisis, and popular brands are closing right down in hospitality left, right and centre. Costs of heating, electricity, food supplies. It's not going to be easy, is it?
Well, nothing's easy, I don't think. And, if you aim low, you probably achieve it. But this is not really going to be, when you just done it all your life, it's slightly easier for people like me. Also, as you get older, you get a few loans out of the way, life becomes a little bit easier. But I'm not going to really be in the numbers game. I'm going to be in the quality, not quantity game.
Providing a lovely experience for people.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Listen, thank you for coming in. It's nice to chat and clear it up. The Riverside restaurant in Woodbridge is open.
It certainly is.
And they're taking bookings, and you can is the website back up and running and everything?
Well, there's been a lot of infrastructure issues like that with your booking systems or what have you. People dancing around, sorting it all out. The good news is old-fashioned ways still work in the meantime. A pen, a paper and a telephone.
Get on the phone, yeah. Stuart Sanders, thank you.
Thanks, Wayne, appreciate it.
16 minutes past 9. We'll get Elton John on next after this.